I think it can be a very good thing for the president's party. You have to remember that over the Obama years, there was very bad unemployment rates for blacks as a whole. They didn't keep up with the rest of the country, but under this president, both wages and unemployment are at historic highs among the black community. I want to share something too that I don't think has ever really been reported, hasn't really been revealed. When I was with the Trump campaign, we actually did a poll among black voters, and we found that President Trump, or then candidate Trump, received more support than all the other Republicans in the race combined. And I think that there's something, an iconoclastic temperament that the president has, that he's not a stock Republican. He doesn't have a lot of the tropes of former Republican presidential candidates or former Republican presidents that allows him to appeal to a much broader group. And if he is able to peel away in his reelection something like 25 or 30% of the black vote, it'll be virtually impossible for a Democrat to win. And the question is whether or not down-ticket Republicans in the November midterm can also benefit by this, can get on these coattails. But one thing is that would be helpful is that if you don't have a community fired up and angry at the president, it's much less likely that they're going to show up and vote against that party, the president's party members in November. So what this can do in some parts is, reduce some of the likelihood that you're going to have a large turnout against the president, some great blue tide that will sweep away members of Congress of the president's party.
Right. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of Democrats have stopped predicting this blue wave, given, I guess, some of the polling that we've seen recently. You mentioned something interesting, though. You said that you think that the internal polling that you guys ran on the Trump campaign that showed that President Trump had more support and approval from black voters than the other Republican candidates put together, you said you thought that might be because of Trump's personality. So how would that apply, in your opinion, to down-ballot Republican races this November?
Well, often midterm elections are a plebiscite on the incumbent president. We certainly saw that in 2010 and in 2014. So if the traditional Democratic voters are highly energized and motivated to turn out, it's usually bad for the incumbent president's party. That's been the case going all the way back to the Eisenhower years. So if the president is, by being able to build bridges, by being able to reach out to folks, leaders in the community like Kanye West, and help him out by giving a presidential pardon to a woman who was unfortunately sentenced to a life in prison for a relatively minor crime, and sort of build bridges that way, build bridges through things like prison reform, and also, through having a booming economy, there's going to be a large segment of the Democrat constituency, black voters, who are not going to be as motivated to go out in November and punish the president's party.